The institution was established in 1901 when the land was bequeathed by Thomas Harper Adams to set up a teaching institution for agriculture, and agriculture has remained at the heart of this institution. Agriculture's a very large industry, a very diverse industry. 70% of the land in the UK is under agricultural production. Why study agriculture at Harper? The facilities we've got on site, the range of specialisms that we can offer within the study of agriculture, and the fact that all of our courses incorporate a 12-month period of employment in industry.
Harper Adams University's set around the farm, so I suppose that was a really big plus about coming here, was the fact that the university is so closely linked to a farm, and you can apply what you see in the classroom to the farm. So the lectures are tailored to time of year, suits what's happening in the field and on the dairy unit and the pig unit. That's one of the main reasons for coming, really.
I'm studying crop management, so I specialise in everything to do with the arable sector, fresh produce. So it's because I want to become an agronomist, which is to do with all like diseases, pests and everything, to produce as much yields as we can from the crops that we grow.
An agronomist is like a crop doctor, really, advising farmers on their crops, on establishment and growing of crops, and protecting them from weeds, pests and diseases. A good range of crops are represented on the farm, so the sort of usual arable combinable crops, so wheat, barley, oilseed rape, and then we also rent out some ground for crops like potatoes, so we're able to access and teach about those as well.
One of the reasons for coming to study agriculture at Harper is this is the classroom. The best way to learn about growing crops is to look at them in the field, take part in the decision-making process, monitoring them. The only way to learn, rather than just listening to people like me in a classroom, is to come out here, have a look for yourself, look what's going on in the field, interpret that, ask questions yourself.
If we have, say, a lecture in crops, you can have a lecture 1 hour, and then next minute you can be in the field looking at that crop or that pest or that weed or disease.
Especially in first year, you see the practical side of things, so you'll be learning out of a book, and then the next day you'll go and see it on the farm, and it just shows how things are done. And there's a working farm, so you'll see everything going through all the year, which is pretty unique. The facilities, yeah, they're great. I've never seen a rotary parlour or anything like that. They've just got robots in, so it's a really good opportunity to go and see it, and you can have a go at working as well.
Well, we've got a wonderful facility across all the main animal species here at Harper Adams, both in terms of beef and sheep and pigs and poultry, but also the dairy cows where we are here today. We've got over 400 cows. We've got an applied feeding unit where we can measure the cow's intake, and that is really very much a facility that you wouldn't see on a commercial farm, but is important in terms of being able to measure intake and cow performance. We've got two main milking systems here at Harper Adams. We've got a robotic system where we have about 50 cows, and then we've got the main rotary parlour where we can put around about 300 to 400 cows through that.
This is a new facility. It's actually funded with some government money. What we're doing here is sort of different from our main dairy, that this allows us the opportunity to use a different approach for milking cows, which is robotic milking. So the cows choose themselves when to come in and when to be milked. But the industry has sort of been moving on. Agricultural sort of practices are now relying much more on technology, and robotic milking is one of these technologies that's starting to come in. I think the dairy cow is probably one of the most monitored animals on the planet. So this is effectively a Fitbit for a cow. This has an accelerometer in it. It's got chips in it, very similar to you would find in a smartphone. It's monitoring the cow's behaviour, and we can pick up the subtle differences that you find when the cow's in estrus, her behaviour changes, but also we can help predict when she may be sick. So we will see changes in her behaviour as she becomes unwell, and you can pick these up and flag these through to the farmer.
So my PhD is in minerals, so I wanted to work with sheep and cows, and Harper's one of the only places where you can work with them and have them on site. So we've got the cows and the sheep on site. So everything's in one place, and also the staff, so the farm staff and the academic staff are really knowledgeable, helpful with the research. So I wanted to come here.
Well, it's great because you've got some of the experts in the country in their field, experts that are doing international research, and then you put it right into a commercial farm situation as well. So as a student, you really couldn't have it any better. You turn up and you're in a lecture with a professor in whatever they're doing, and then the next minute you're out and you're chasing sheep. And I think that's really good. That's a good experience for a lot of young people interested in agriculture. My specialism is in management of potato cyst nematodes, which are microscopic worm-like pests which basically persist in the soil for 15 or 20 years. And then you plant a potato crop. The potato plant, as it's growing, releases exudates from the root which attract these worms. They hatch out of eggs and then they migrate through the soil to the potatoes. Now at the moment in the potato industry we're shifting slightly, so a few years back we would have been mostly pre-pack type varieties, and you'd see a lot of people skinning potatoes and doing mash and things like that, whereas today people, perhaps it's the pace of life, but we're a lot more into our oven chips and things like that, so fast sources of potato food, if you like. So the industry is changing. We're getting new varieties coming through to meet those new market consumer demands. And so this experiment here is basically looking at the top varieties which are grown at the moment in the country, some new, and seeing how well they perform against potato cyst nematodes, which are the biggest potato threat in the country.
Recently we've had all the agriculture students and agricultural related courses come down, and they've been doing hands-on practicals with the sheep with us, and then they've been learning how to body condition score the animals, how to administer drenches, talking a little bit about the breed differences, and then we've actually had some down this morning in this facility learning about the tools of the trade that we do and use throughout the annual cycle. And what's involved with sheep really from day to day. We currently run what's called the stockmanship programme, so all foundation agriculture students have access to the rural skills module, and as part of that we offer this stockmanship, so they will come down, they will help us put the harnesses on the tups, they will help us administer medicines, vaccinations, they will get stuck in with lambing. Any student can come down and help us do anything. And at the moment, students can come down, just walk around the ewes with us and check them, check their health, check that they're okay. And then when we've got ewes in, they can come and help us feed them, they can come and help us vaccinate them. So if a student specifically wants to come and learn about something, they get in contact and they can come down and help. And it's really important. It's not just about the guided learning, it's what they want to do themselves and get out of the degree course what they want.
A drone is basically a system that allows us to actually get some technology up into the air, things like cameras, and allow us to have a new perspective over agricultural land that we didn't know was there. And we can quantify what's actually going well and not with that aerial view. The next robots that are out there haven't even been thought of yet. The capabilities and the technology that is out there has not been programmed. It needs the next minds to actually think of what's actually possible or not, and not to be held back with these ideologies that we've actually got with standard drone systems. Drones might not even have propellers in the future for all I know. But the capabilities of what we're actually learning from having a vehicle flying around in the sky allows us to think completely different and blow open this world of agriculture and allow us to do things very differently.
So the unit here at Harper Adams is used as a platform really for teaching and research purposes. We teach all year groups from undergraduate right the way up to postgraduate. It's used as a facility for research for our research students, as well as commercial research facility and to commercially produce pigs on site. We maintain a herd of 240 sows here on the unit. These we batch farrow every 3 weeks. So every 3 weeks we will produce about 350 piglets, and they will come through the system. They'll be weaned at about 4 weeks of age and then come through into specialised weaner accommodation, such as this one here, and then move their way through the production cycle until we have finished pigs ready for market. So the facility at Harper Adams also allows us to demonstrate to the students differences in commercial systems. So in this case here you can see that we have straw-based pigs in contrast to our other production systems throughout the site as well.
Harper is a great place. It's forward thinking and it's always progressing. There's so many experts and so many things happening all the time. And yeah, it's always looking into the future.
We believe that in the future, tractors and farm machinery will become more and more intelligent, and you won't necessarily need a driver on the seat of your tractor to be going farming with it. So what we've done is, with the Hands-Free Hectare project, is take a standard set of farm equipment, modify them to be autonomous, and then we've completed a whole year of cropping with that, a whole year's cropping cycle with a spring barley crop. And then we've continued for a second year, and this time we've grown a winter wheat. And the combine behind me is just setting up ready to harvest wheat this second year. Agricultural robotics has been talked about for an awful long time, 10 to 20 years nearly. But the ideas and concepts had never really left the lab or left the demonstration area. And what we have here is a demonstration area, but it's that next level. We're actually farming with our robots. We're not just driving them around for the sake of a camera shot. We really go farming with our machines. So we've moved a conversation along that got kind of stuck in its way. We also hope that showing this high-tech scientific approach to farming may inspire younger people into agriculture and show them that it's a innovative area to work, and it's not just mud and wellies, and you know, it's cool and exciting, and we're doing clever robotic things. Because there's so many problems to be solved, so many challenges to be met in farming. So we've got Internet of Things type technology coming through, where we're going to put sensors all over our farms, be that a livestock farm or an arable farm. We want to put sensors on our animals, we want to put sensors into fields, we want to drive our tractors autonomously, we want to make smart implements that can zap weeds and zap pests, and then, you know, all these are high-tech challenges that are going to keep someone who's really passionate about solving problems, it's going to keep them interested throughout a whole career. There's so many challenges to be solved.
And I think it's the best place if you want to study agriculture at a degree level to come. It's been the right decision, I know that much.
Really good facilities, everyone's like really friendly.
It's always been a place I've wanted to be, like ever since I was high school.
I'm from a small family farm. I wanted to go out and broaden my knowledge. I went to Harper because you have that placement year. It was a good opportunity to go away. I went to New Zealand. The facility is obviously great, and yeah, love it. It's like the best course.
Not only will you gain one of the best agricultural sort of understanding and knowledge from your course here, but you'll also meet friends that you'll have for a lifetime, as you're all similar minded, you're all motivated, and you all have like the same career aspirations.